but we might want to read it. We might want to read it so that it now prompts the entity to address each of those specific recommendations. Professor Ojienda.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, and thank you very much. The big elephant in the room, as Senator Wambua properly observes, is what the CEC Finance and the county have done to bring down the 5.944 billion, 565, and also to tell us whether the non-reflection of the 1.870363 billion that they say are legal liabilities have been settled. What is the extent of the settlement? Because for me, Chair, and this is my concern, you do not train incompetent people who fail to include into financials relevant figures that should be included. You sack them or transfer them. You can't tell me that every year when people fail to do things that you train them so they do them better the following year. Transfer them, sack them. George Okongo Sisi, what have you done? Governor, what have you done to ensure that we clean up this department that is letting the county down?
Okay, so very direct questions. Clerk, how long is our recommendation on pending bills? So that, because that recommendation was communicated to the county and it had specific issues which should tie to what Senator Wambua and Senator Ojienda are asking. Because we gave recommendations on, what should be paid immediately, what requires a payment plan, etc., etc. Clerks, do you have it? Or maybe, Governor, you may respond broadly, because there's a broader one, which to you as a CEO must trouble you. If you are owing 5.9 billion, and then now there's a technical aspect of how that debt is moving.
The Chairman, I'll ask the Finance Minister to respond, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In terms of action on management of pending bills, Mr. Chairman, I will first agree with what the Honourable Senator Wambua said, that the first thing we have to deal with is to check as to whether the figure remains the same. It is not by way of reconciliation. We had, in fact, at the time of the audit in that particular year, we had made payments because of the delayed disbursement of June. We had made payments that were not accommodated at the time of that reporting. And so the reconciliation has been done. We have put it in our status report that it is going to be available for audit this year, but I can still give highlights of what it became after reconciliation and say that it moved down to 4.074, and we can even give the classifications in terms of development, recurrent, and even pending bills related to human resources. But beyond reconciliation, to get the correct numbers.
Chair, please.
Okay, just wait a minute.
Chair,
Professor.
The Governor, can we have a schedule of those who have been paid? Tell us who has been paid since then, the 1.2 billion. Because there are people in Kisumu County who are about to commit suicide because they've not been paid.
Chair.
Senator Wambua?
And Chair, you may want to tell the professor who is senator to cool it down, Professor.
But you know, this wait.
I am on the phone.
Order.
So, Chair.
Okay, Senator Wambua.
Chair, CC Finance. Please, I request that you don't throw figures at us.
Yes.
You came here to have a conversation with us about the implementation status of our recommendations. So you're not coming here to tell us that you are undertaking reconciliation. That is so yesterday. We want it on record. As the professor is asking, where is the schedule of the people that you are paid? Where is the schedule of the people that have not been paid? Where is the schedule of the people that you think you should not even pay? I mean, something I expected better from Kisumu. Please.
Okay. Okay, we stopped you in your tracks when you're explaining something. Clerks, do you have the recommendations ready? Okay, then I'll call upon you shortly. Senator Cherarge, okay, your mic is off. You can proceed, Sisi.
I just wanted, because I just walked in when he was talking about 1.2 billion. In fact, the governor, the implementation status is from the answer that you have given. We are not even sure how much is being owed in Kisumu in terms of the trade payables on who are they, what should happen, how much has been paid, because I can see the response you have given us on implementation more realities, because you have not even including asset management. So my only concern is how much as up to date, the year under review, sorry, is being owed. The OAG has said it's 5.9 billion plus. Your CC has said there's 1.2 billion plus proof. So we take that one with a pinch of salt. Then and this issue of schedules and reconciliation statements. So it means, how did you pay without having this schedule and reconciliation status of 1.2 billion? So we must be told. And in terms of aging analysis, at which period? Is it over 3 years, within 2 years, under 1 year? That reconciliation is not there. So what are you paying?
But point of information, Chair, the Senator for Nandi, don't even hang on that 1.2. It's nowhere. You know, it's just a figure that has been thrown at us. It's
I think let's be factual. So maybe it would benefit the professor and his team to listen to the detailed recommendation we made on that matter, because that is what we expect you to respond to. Clerk?
Yes, Chairman. The committee made the following recommendations. 1, payables due for more than 365 days be considered indicative of poor financial management, and the county executive must provide an actionable plan to the COB within 90 days of the adoption of the report. 2, all county governments must prioritize the payment of verified pending bills owed to staff deductions, including KRA, NSSF, NITA, and pension funds within 90 days of the payables becoming due, as this constitutes a first charge. 3, the ESCC to investigate pending bills, particularly those owed to staff and statutory bodies, to establish whether funds due were retrieved from the county revenue fund, and if so, how they were utilized, with a view to recommending prosecution of liable persons. 4, the COB is directed to consider a county's efforts to clear inherited pending bills as a key factor when approving exchequer releases, and should not approve releases for subsequent quarters where an approved payment plan is not being adhered to. 5, that all county governments pay verified pending bills amounting to less than 1 billion by end of this financial year, and those above 1 billion by the end of the financial year 26-27. The committee further recommended that pursuant to provisions of Regulation 41, 2, and 3 of the Public Finance Management, County Government Regulations 2015, county governments prepare and submit to the Control of Budget a payment plan prioritizing payment of pending bills as a first charge on the County Revenue Fund, failure to which the subsequent quarter releases will not be done. 2, the Control of Budget takes into consideration the efforts made by a county government to clear inherited pending bills when approving exchequer releases. 3, county governments shall only pay pending bills contained in their respective procurement plans pursuant to Regulation 52 and 3 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulations. 4, supplementary budgets for county governments are prepared in the third quarter to curb instances of arbitrary reallocations out of the approved budget estimates. 5, county government, in consultation with the Control of Budget, to provide a budget for completion of all existing projects and that initiation of new projects to cease until completion of the existing projects. The last one,
County governments shall conduct public participation while formulating supplementary budgets, failure to which the COB shall not approve supplementary budgets, and the COB and the Senate will monitor compliance and apply sanctions if payment plans are not honored. That was all, Chair.
Okay, they sound fairly generic because we didn't have an opportunity for Kisumu to appear before us before we made those recommendations. We would have gone further and made recommendations around aging, because the auditor has indicated that the age of this debt is not clear. But the thing that recurs in that recommendation is a payment plan. Payment plan to be, shared with the controller budget, and it ties to what we are asking. Do you have a payment plan? Have you submitted it to the controller budget? And as per that payment plan, to what extent has this debt reduced or increased? Yeah.
On behalf of the Governor, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let me just take on the questions and the specific way you put them. First of all, the disclosure of the pending bills in terms of aging under 1 year, 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and over 3 years has been made, and it is public. It is actually on the County Government of Kisumu website. The numbers are there. It is public information, and we can probably submit we can provide it now, but we are required by the Kenya Devolution Support Program 2, as participating counties in KDSP 2, to disclose our pending bills and put it public on the website, and we've done exactly that.
No, my request
Why is that information not available here?
The place where you're supposed to put it is here, in the financial statement.
Why?
Not the website.
If you have that information, why you keep it?
It is not here. And the Auditor General queried it. These senators have some experience now in looking at that particular note. And we know there's some detail that we usually find there which is missing. So I think it is not enough to tell us it's on the website. If it's not on the financial statement, we cannot take what is on the website. And I think that goes back to the very first question we asked about the competence of the preparers of the financial statement. If you have it, maybe someone can just produce it so that we see whether it explains implementation of a payment plan. But you've started with a very dangerous statement. I thought you were going to tell us about your payment plan.
Chair, again, how many Kisumu people can access the website? Because most of these counties, if you look at the website, it's not even there. Yeah.
So since you don't take us that route, it's going to lead you into problems. Let's go to, do you have a payment plan?
Yes. Can if it is on the website and there's a payment plan, can he adjourn and print it if it is actually there? Or can he task one of his people there to print it and present it now, because the website is live?
The challenge will be to take,
it is not there.
To take evidence that that the Auditor General has not looked at.
Correct.
And we try to make sense out of it in this session.
Mr. Chairman, on the payment plan, I think I could say so because the control of budget is here. And the payment plan, just like read in the recommendations, the payment plan was submitted to the control of budget, and it is what we have been using to pay. So
where is it?
Chair, it was a recommendation by this committee. It's a query by the Office of the Auditor General. Why is it not part of your bundle? Why?
Why was it?
And how much have you paid so far? It's as simple as that.
Actually, that is a question that you need to respond to.
How much?
You have a payment plan. You have given it to the control of budget. What is now? What is the net position right now?
And who are these people, including, because even in note number 17, trade and other payables, there is a note or note number 17, the trade payables of figure 4 billion, 074,203 excludes payables currently undergoing verification. So who are they? Because this is your financial statements is you generate. So this is your document. So who are they?
Okay, so Governor, before you get to that question,
yes,
just tell us your payment plan as implemented, has it resulted into a reduction of this figure from 5.9 billion to a different figure, or it remains the same?
you, Mr. Chairman. The pending bills performance for the year in terms of payments, in the plan, we intended to pay up to 1.9 billion shillings. That was the total amount of the plan, divided under development and recurrent of 1.2 billion, staff claims of 33 million, and salary and other statutory arrears of 701 million. The actual payments made came to, no, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I think I mixed them up a bit. The action plan had a total value of 2.5 billion. I'm sorry about that. The actual payments are the figure that I've read.
He's reading from somewhere. Can he refer to he's reading from somewhere? Where are you referring?
Because we had said, Mr. Chairman, that this information will be given to the
Order, CC, let me guide you. Yeah. Let's allow him to give us an account of that current status, and then from there we demand evidence to it. Because remember, so that we don't sound too technical and too accountant-like, this 5.9 billion is owed to a woman or a man somewhere. So we must speak to it. We must speak to it from that perspective before we go to the technicalities.
Because you see, Chair, the reason I'm asking that is because I can see him reading a document, quoting figures to the cent. And I'm saying, let's walk with him. Let him tell us where he's reading from. We have the document that he has given us here. Where is he reading from?
Is that an internal document, or is it something that has been subjected to scrutiny by auditors, both either internal or external?
Mr. Chairman, we said in our status report that these reconciliations will be availed to the auditor at the audit of this financial year. So I'm just reading an internal document, but I think this information, because the payments were made by the controller budget, this information is obviously also with the controller budget.
So members, can we allow him to give us the picture? He says he had a plan of 2.5 billion. He has not told us how much of that plan has been paid.
Chair, with all due respect, the auditors are supposed to look at that and verify. We are not on the ground, so we cannot listen to document that we don't have. And who will verify it?
Okay.
Chair,
Morgan?
Yes, Chair, if you rule that we need to hear from that gentleman, and he needs to make reference to that document, and then in all fairness, maybe he should circulate that document to the auditors first. We get their opinion, so that we take information that does not create any doubt from the side of the auditors. Otherwise, it will be very unfair to allow him to refer to a document that does not have, the comfort of the auditors. Chair. So if you want them to refer, then let them pass the document to the auditors. Then we can be on the same page.
Okay. So, members, we have two steps in this. There is this public inquiry that we are holding, which perhaps helps the people in the counties to understand the intentions of their government. And that's why we are asking this question. There is a next step of making our recommendations. And we cannot make recommendations without relying on documents that are properly, signed off and properly reviewed. So, Senior Counsel, I agree with you that we cannot we cannot make recommendations on this matter without the governor circulating a proper document before us. But for the sake of that public interest, we want to establish whether there is some movement in, or there's some progression in settlement of pending bills. You have heard the way Professor Ojienda, who's the area senator, has spoken with passion. We just want to find out whether things are getting worse or things are getting better. Honorable members,
if you rule that, Chair, and we don't want to countermand your decision, then let him share that document, soft copy. Then we can ask questions on it.
Okay.
Now
I want to give directions that if that document is available.
Yes, since I'm the senator and this is oversight, my concern, the reason why I raise this is because we, on the ground, we hear that there are particular suppliers who are paid and not others. And that's why we need to see that list. And there are particular ones and not others.
I think, Chair, that has been a tradition. for neatness, is that the county government has said there was a payment plan submitted to COB, Control of Budget. We need now to speak to 5.9 billion, telling us how much they have. You have asked a right question, Chair, that how much has been paid and who are these people? And based on aging analysis, because we know first in, first out, FIFO. So we need to know, because apart from the semantics around it, there is a businessman or a woman from Kisumu who has been owed for some time, and they really want to know whether they have been paid or not. That is now, we'll avoid the technicality part. So can the CEC, that is being given to COB, the payment plan, how much has been paid? Chair, you remember on several occasions, many entities who have appeared before us have always submitted how much has been paid to who and how much is pending and who are these companies, and including even the timeline. I remember the last entity that appeared here, even the timeline, others indicate 2013, 2014, 2018, 2019. So can we get that? If we get that, I think we'll make an headway.
Members, I think we are saying the same thing. We are saying the same thing. Prof, you have got a big team around you. Your CEC says there's a payment plan. Is that payment plan available and can it be circulated? Your CEC says an amount has been paid as per the payment plan. Is it possible to get the schedule of payments as per that payment plan? I believe that's what we are asking for, honorable members. So is it something that is ready and available for circulation?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the Governor, yes, the figures in terms of what has been paid is available. We can circulate. What perhaps we don't have right now is the list of individuals who have been paid, which, if given some time in the course of the day, we can give, because we didn't carry the list of who was paid how much, the suppliers and the contractors. We cannot lie that we have it here.
You see, Chair, now that's the problem that we find ourselves in. What the CEC is saying is that you can circulate a document. I've not seen it, you've not seen it, that tells you we are paid 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. But it doesn't have the detail of Ojienda was paid, not from Ojienda. Ojienda was paid 10 million, Omondi was paid, Wambua was paid this much. What is the value of that document, Chair? Secondly, remember, he has said it on record that that document has not been submitted to the auditor. So who will have verified that document for us so that we can rely on that document to interrogate the implementation status? Chair, you find ourselves in a very awkward situation, but I have known you to be a very wise man. You must find a way of getting us out of this.
No,
Chair,
I'd like us to make progress. So, a brief one.
In addition, the CEC doesn't want to say how much he has paid, because as per the implementation status, we are interested where genuine pending bills or trade payables have been made and unsettled. So can he say how much and maybe specific entities? But Chair, looking from what the CEC is not admitting, I don't think we'll make any headway because there is no evidence. So you can direct that this matter, the governor can come back to provide further clarity, because now we are just shooting in the dark.
The governor has taken oath, and he said he's going to say the truth and nothing but the truth. So his oral submissions, I think, are admissible. But there are three things the committee is asking for, which you need to tell us whether we can get it now or not. The payment plan, the schedule of payments, and also that aging analysis, which your officer says is on the website. Those three things are important for us to make proper recommendations on this. But to avoid a situation where a conversation around the livelihoods of the people of Kisumu is terminated on technicalities, I want us to come back and perhaps consider the oral submissions. The evidence can come and we can consider it as we write our report. But speaking on behalf of the people owed 5.9 billion, CEC, you were explaining something about your payment plan that you had planned to pay 2.5 billion. You did not tell us how much of that was paid. How much of that was paid?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was reading the pending bills performance as handed over to me internally. We had an action plan which had a value of 2.5 billion, and the actual paid amounted to 1.9 billion, achieving a pending bills performance ratio of 76%.
Now, of the 1.9 billion, now that we are saying we can take your oral submission for now, just for the sake of the public interest, how do you break it down in terms of the age of the debt that was settled? Was it current? Was it historical?
But Chair, I think we are mixing up issues here. We are not getting what is the total amount of pending bills for Kisumu County. And CEC is saying having paid 1.9 billion, it's 70% of the total outstanding. Yeah, 76. So how do we arrive at that? Because we are not able to verify that position.
CEC, stop throwing numbers, because 76 is a percentage of the plan, isn't it? Not a percentage of the total.
You're right, Mr.
Yeah, so don't use numbers, don't use percentages to look good.
Chair, in the interest of those people you're talking about,
Yes.
let it go on record so that in the interest of those people of Kisumu,
Yes.
those figures that we are discussing here are only available to the CC. We don't have those figures.
Yes.
Yes,
Let it
and
go on record.
we will give directions that they must be provided and they must be subjected to scrutiny and they must be made public.
Yeah.
Senator, Professor.
As the CC presents his report, can he highlight how much of those pending bills go back to the tenure of the first governor, the oldest during Ranguma's time? How much of those bills go back to Ranguma's time when he served as governor of that amount?
Yeah, I think it's the same question I asked around the age of the settled debt. Do you have that? Are you able to respond on that?
Mr. Chairman, the classification that I have in terms of the actual payments of 1.9 billion is only on development, recurrent staff and salary, but I can get the data on the age.
It's not aged.
It's not age.
Now, members, the reason why this is an important conversation is that the analysis by the Parliamentary Budget Office indicates that, and PBO, I'm seeing a slight variation in the numbers here. 2024, 2025, I'm seeing 5.7 billion. Where did you get that number from?
From the Auditor General report.
Not 5.944.
No, Chair, that was the pending bill. No, not the pending, the wage bill.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I withdraw that. The Parliamentary Budget Office tells us that in 2024-2025, you closed at 5.9 billion. The prior year, 2023-2024, you closed at 2.8 billion. So there was a growth of 3 billion in pending bills in one financial year. And I know my colleagues will ask for evidence to support your claims, but we need to understand what led to this huge spike of 108% in pending bills in one financial year. And we have had stories here about delayed exchequer, etc., etc. We need to get an explanation. Your pending bills have been 2021, 2022, it was 2.4 billion. 2022, 2023, it was 2.0 billion. 2023, 2024, it was 2.8 billion. 2024, 2025, it was 5.9 billion. That raises serious concern. what could be the cause of the 3 billion growth in pending bills in 1 year? Prof?
Mr. Chairman, the growth, it was driven largely by rulings that were delivered in the course of the year by courts against the county government, and also a consent that the county ended with the National Housing Corporation with respect to an estate where, the matter had also been in court, that the county actually owed the National Housing Corporation, I think the county attorney will confirm, up to 1.1 billion, and the court ruled. The county entered consent to pay, and so that figure was admitted in our roll inventory of pending bills. There were a number of other significant decisions of the court which amounted to pending bills. I remember one from the top of my head of about 480 million and so on. But maybe the county attorney can help explain, because a good number of that was driven by decisions of courts.
Okay, so it's real growth. It's not just an issue of timing of exchequer.
Even after the reconciliations to take care of the delayed exchequer and the payments that were made, we are saying that there was actually real growth, and that growth was driven by key decisions of the court.
Okay, we need to get an answer to that, because in the analysis, the Parliamentary Budget Office indicates that the sharp growth in pending bills in 2024-2025 warrants further audit to establish whether it resulted from delayed exchequer releases or weak commitment controls. You have added another dimension of rulings. You wanted the county attorney to add something.
Thank you very much. I think at this point in time, I can only confirm the 1 billion stake. So it is true and correct that between the NHC or the national, or between the local authority provident fund and county government of Kisumu, there had been a case, and that figure is coming to 1.540, 814, 883.
Because, Chair,
I'm only confirming.
under
I'm only confirming.
County Attorney Order, through the Chair, in the legal dues it says the opening balance was 2.6 billion 8. So where are you getting the figures? You know, we are dealing with what you have. Where is those figures through the Chair?
Yeah, is that a judgment for the county to pay for the houses?
The is it 1.1 or 1.5?
Chairman, I've referred to a legal dispute that was pending in a file that is being settled at 1.5
That's an
billion
award.
shillings.
It's already determined, or it's a contingent liability?
That is by consent.
It's by consent.
That is by consent.
So that's one matter, 1.5.
Yes.
So Chair, you see that's where the problem is.
So where is
you know,
the annex?
he talked about 1.1 billion. He is talking about 1.5 billion. We are looking at a blank. We don't know what it is that we are dealing with. Chair, I want to persuade you, as I heard Senator Tom saying, I'm not sure we are ready to engage on these matters, honestly. Because how do you engage with, top of mind? This is what I think, this is what I think. How?
Chair, and
Senator
that is a new one, because looking at there were legal dues here, and the opening balance in that year under review was 2.6 billion. So what is the fate of contingent liabilities? Because if there was an award that was given, it should have been taken care by contingent liabilities, and my law lecturer is here in agreement with me, Professor Ojienda.
So I'm confused, because
yes,
what they're
and
saying
if my
does
lecturer
not
is
make
confused,
sense.
how was am I?
Doesn't make sense at all.
Okay, we were asking for the reasons for the growth in pending bills of 3 billion. So far, 1.5 billion has been referred to. What about the other 1.5 billion? Because legal dues, you have talked of 1.5. So that explains 50% of that growth. What about the other 50%? That is assuming that that was the right explanation. So what about the other 1.5 billion?
Mr. Chairman, one of the reasons is already one that you have read there. When we have late disbursements of exchequer at the end of the financial year from the National Treasury, then what is paid in the new year becomes, is considered a pending bill in the year that was closing. But the other thing which is also true is the underperformance of on-source revenue leading to literally funds unavailability also is responsible for part of those, that rise in pending bills.
When you're doing your transition to accrual accounting, there was a steering committee, and there was supposed to be technical groups under the steering committee, and I believe one of them was to look at your trade payables and how to transition them. Who led that working group? Because in this year you're supposed to have a steering committee, and then you're supposed to appoint different working groups.
It was led by the chief officer in the department.
The chief officer, who is in the room?
Yes.
I'm also looking at your Audit and Finance Committee as disclosed in the financial statement, chaired by Mr. Elijah Owino Ngonga, and the 8 members are there with very impressive qualifications. Is the chairman of the Audit Committee present, part of the delegation?
No, he's not here.
I think it's good practice to have them here, because this ties very neatly with what they do. Because the reason why I raise that is we are extremely concerned that we don't seem to be keeping a proper inventory of what we owe. And I want to, I know my colleagues are frustrated about the lack of details, but I don't want this to terminate technically. Prof, I think we need to get your views on this, because if at that time, 1 year or 2 years to the end of your tenure, pending bills are rising, consents are being entered into that would cost the county about 1.5 billion, your pending bills is rising faster than your own source revenue, because rising by 3 billion, your own source revenue is much less. We know you to be a person who perhaps sees the forest, does not, well, you can see the trees, but you prefer to see the forest. What is a plan to ensure that on the 10th year of your leadership of Kisumu, the county is not saddled with debt, and that the debt to revenue ratio can go back to what is recommended in the PFM?
Mr. Chairman, I think this is feasible. Once we get the report of the discussions today, which I hope we'll get very soon, we'll sit down and get your concerns. And we shall then go into the practical duty, practical work, going through what finance has presented here and what questions have been raised which finance has not covered. I think that's very clear. Secondly, I know for certain that we have a problem of revenue and debt. Some of the debt, as you know, are historical. We received them from past regimes. Some of the debt arise as a result of policies of the national government and ourselves, which may increase salaries at a certain point, and you are obliged to pay those salaries without realizing that, while realizing that actually the revenue that you have cannot meet the demands that you have. These are practical things on the ground that we see. So we would like to find solutions, definitely, and I think this committee can help us find solutions with the national government in this issue. So what I think we do, we go back, having taken the questions and the issues that have been raised here, and we come back to the committee with solutions. And if, Mr. Chairman, we cannot get solutions, we'll ask you to help us get them. So I think that, to me, it has been a learning process this morning of issues that we should have known and covered, and we didn't. Secondly, trying to put in place a system of getting information in time. One of the problems that you have in government, in sometimes departments make decisions and make and spend money, but we don't get that information in time. You understand what I mean? I mean, even in government, you can be a minister, and the departments are spending all kinds of things, and there's a time that you'd want it, but say, no, this is not ready until this date. So I think that my feeling and my recommendation is that we go back, look at the issues that have been raised, and then come back with responses to those concerns based on the information that we are going to get from talking to these people. Can you answer it?
Now, relax, Senator Wapua, because I can see where you are going. Do you have an idea on what your staff payables are? What you owe to staff? So we've talked of legal. What about staff payables? Because it goes back to the starting point of our conversation that the persons who prepared these financial statements did a lousy job. You can't tell on the face of the financial statement what you owe to staff. And members, I think I'm a bit lenient today because because
is an understatement. Yeah.
Because Prof used to sit here. Yeah, he used to chair this committee. He used to be with us in the House. And when we went to Kisumu, we wished him well, and we continue to wish him well. And we must be proactive in terms of our advice. Of course, our recommendations will be as stiff as they are. But we must help him see some things that maybe from where he sits, he might not be able to see. How much do you owe to staff out of this 5.9 billion?
Can I ask the finance minister to respond?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The monies owed to staff we categorize them into two. Some of them are arrears of salaries and statutory deductions that may not have been remitted, that have not been remitted. Historically, that comes to 1.3 billion. I need to clarify that this, particularly the ones that are owed to the...
Yeah, on a point of order, I think it is safer to continue with what Professor Governor has proposed.
Yes.
Because we are now going into a dangerous quagmire that will not come out from. So is it safer
we need to discuss it so that
yes,
when they go back, they prepare a comprehensive report.
But the CCM is going to the same place where
and again, Chair,
we have been.
And again, Chair, the problem is, you see, he is sinking, and we have no visibility of the vessel that he is sinking in. How do we help him? How are we supposed to help? Because, Chair, he has just dropped a bomb.
So this is
1.3 billion staff payables. That is, I mean, no, if you have that document here, then we Chair, I want to persuade you. And I understand.
The beauty is that I go to note 20.
Yes.
Go to note 20 of the financial statements. Because now we want to look at that 1.3 and how it relates to what is in note 20, which has employee benefit obligations.
Yes. Chair, as we go there, Chair, can I also request you to get a response from ESC on the status of this guy who prepared these financial statements?
Christine, did you get any response?
I didn't get the full name of the CPA.
Oh, and you still don't have the number?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So see, you're saying the arrears is 1.3 billion, quite a big number. But if you go to note 20 in your financial statement, it has some very alarming numbers there. 5.8 billion.
That was yes, sir.
Page 46 of the audit certificate. Note 20.
No, you don't have it.
Not the financial statements. Note number 20.